Hey everyone, it's Dominic the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Thanks for coming by to check out another video. It is Friday, September 20th, 9:30 p.m. I started my prior video at 5 o'clock in the morning, so this is just a continuation. If you remember, the plan is to go out Saturday morning and do some treasure hunting. We're going to go to garage sales, estate sales, and whatever else we see along the way. Maybe there'll be some cool curbside pickups and things that we could find for free and turn it into treasure, even though someone else thinks that it's trash. Now, yesterday, you remember from the video, I showed you some Captain America comic books that I was processing while eBay was shut down. I was telling you I really needed to just try to get those things prepped and photographed and ready so that when eBay allowed listings to happen again, that they'd be just, fresh and ready to go. Well, that's exactly what happened. I photographed them, prepped them, bagged and boarded them. This is, an example of one of them. It's a double, so I just kind of have this one to the side. If you remember, there were 53 of these, and comps on them, because people sometimes ask me, how do you price something like this? You have 53 comic books of Captain America from the 1970s. Like, how do you know what to put on a price? Well, you have to go in the completed sold listings. Then you have to also look at what people are currently offering, see if there's anything close to it. And there was someone who is selling something a little bit close to this. It was similar in terms of the range of issues and the years. It was 54 of them sold for $99 plus $6 shipping. Now, these were a little bit older than those, but it was the closest thing I had. Remember, these are 53. So you might think, and this is the lesson I want to teach about this, well, okay, it sold for about $105, so maybe I put up for $99.99, maybe I put up for $105. Not if there's not somebody else around you right then and there who's a competitor of you for those issues, and there wasn't anybody. So why put yourself right there at what that completed sold price was? You may have been able to sell it for more. So I put it up for $150. Now, the reason I didn't put them up for more than that, if you remember, they were low to mid-grade books, so a bunch of them had damage on them. Well, within about a half an hour, I got an offer for $130, and I would have been happy for the $100 because I don't have anything into the issues anymore. And they are right here. They are sold. They are ready to go out. Clorox boxes, by the way, are awesome. They are always nice and strong, so if you could pick these up. I got this actually at my regular full-time job, it was just thrown to the side. Just pick it up. If you ever see boxes like that, they're strong and sturdy. Put them in your office, whatever, and just take them back to your home base and just put them to the side and get them ready for shipping, like something like this. So anyway, I just wanted to start off the video with a nice sale. It's been a great day when you combine it with that poster that I sold for $225 in the morning. I mean, you're talking hundreds of dollars of sales with just 2 items, and then there were some miscellaneous things that you saw yesterday. So who knows if there's any other, interesting sales that I could pass on, which I could teach you some things, be on the lookout things and stuff like that. I'll work that into the video as well, but it's going to be a combo of a lot of different things. As usual, you never know what you're going to see when you come to one of these videos, and I don't know what's going to happen either, so it makes it pretty exciting just to document it. So all right, that's it for now, and we'll see where this video takes us, everyone. Well, this is going to be the last video clip of the evening because it is 11:45 p.m. Just made my last sale probably of the night, and I want to talk to you about it because it has to do with some items you've seen me pick up throughout the course of the haul videos this year. One of the things I told you I really wanted to focus on getting were some postcard collections, and I'm glad that I did because they really pay for themselves pretty quick. This is just a very basic example right here. This is a postcard from 1979 for the best little whorehouse in Texas. Now, I have 3 of these that were in the collection that I got. I sold one the other day for 10 bucks. This one just sold for 10 bucks, and I have another one right here that I will just list as soon as I ship this one out. Now, it's got a couple things going for it, so it's what I want to kind of take you through, even though I admit I am not a postcard expert, but I know enough of the basics that can at least talk you through this part of it, which is that 1, it's vintage, so it's 1979. 2, it comes from a famous movie like I just mentioned. Number 3 is that there's art on the cover, and the art is done by a famous artist whose last name is Gacci, and Gacci, Gacci, he was known as a famous shoe artist. Believe it or not, there is such a thing. This guy specialized in drawing people's feet and shoes and all sorts of stuff. And so postcards by him have a little bit of a following in terms of people who are like kind of really into that kind of stuff and like that type of art. And so when you could tie all these different themes together with art and vintage qualities and movies and movie memorabilia, and there's obviously a sexual connotation to the movie, which doesn't hurt, and that helps with other items as well, like yesterday you saw with the Tarot, which is the Black Rose comic book. All of those things, there's nothing explicit in it, but it has that kind of like I said, connotation to it, which helps out. So this one, again, $10, but they add up when you buy hundreds or thousands of postcards. So again, pays for itself pretty quick. Now if you want to learn from real, true, bona fide experts who just live and breathe and die postcards, definitely check out my interviews in my playlist section with Kevin the Postcard Guy that I did this year and John from Popeye's Postcard. So you can learn a lot from them and going over to their YouTube channel. In terms of how I pack something like this up, I just put it in a little sandwich baggie, and then I close it, put a little piece of tape on it, and I sandwich it between two pieces of cardboard and just put it out in a little small mailer envelope, and that's it. I pay first class postage for it. That's why I don't ship any postcards less than $9.99 because it's going to cost about $2.84 to ship, and with fees and everything should wind up making around $6.50 and in profit on the item. So that's how I do it. Some people will send it out with a stamp and they don't care about the first class, but in order to maintain your top rated seller status, you do have to have tracking on things or you're going to get dinged. So some people don't care about that, some people do. I care about it, so that's why I do it that way. So it's up to you, it's personal preference, but just wanted to pass that on to you as well. There are formal like postcard sleeves that you could buy to put things in, and postcard backing boards, just like they have with comic books. So those are also made, by the way, by BCW, same company that makes those comic book boards that I showed you yesterday. But I'm not going to put links to them down below because I don't use them right now, and I don't want to put links to things that I don't actually use. I like to be able to verify that things are good before I tell you about them. So I don't have any doubt that they are, but again, that's just a policy that I have. So I'm taking some pictures here of Little Lulu and Tubby Tompkins. You might remember me picking them up at the flea market last week. They've been sitting around here on the table, and Mrs. Primetime said they kind of freak her out, so I got to get them listed and get them up. So I've been freaking her out even more, just kind of like imitating their voice and talking to her. So she's, "Mommy, what's for breakfast?" "Mommy?" "Mommy, why don't you love us anymore?" All right, everyone, we are back on the treasure hunt. It is 9 o'clock Saturday morning. We are going to start off at an estate sale. It's not one where I even really expect to find anything. It's just that it's only 4 minutes away from Primetime Treasure headquarters, and it's with an estate sale dealer who I used to do a lot of business with, but I haven't recently because they've been doing estate sales farther away from me in an area that is really too uppity, and they don't really have good things there anyway in these cities. So they actually came over here, but now they're in a house that doesn't have too much stuff in it. But I still want to stop by, say hello. I always talk about making those personal connections. If I could find something, that would be a bonus, but it's really more of a quick social call kind of thing. And then we'll go out and check out different garage sales, and there may be a few other estate sales along the way. So let's go to that first stop. All right, so as you can tell, it is a beautiful morning here. The estate sale is right here to the right. There is not a lot of cars here at all. That's because the pictures really show a big house that is mostly bare. And that's a problem for people who are looking for merchandise. But like I said, it's even less than 4 minutes away. This is the house right here. So we'll check it out. We'll see if there is anything in there. And if not, at least I'll have reconnected with the estate sale dealers. All right, try downstairs. Probably not much. Mostly newer stuff, but I'll take a closer look. Maybe there's something decent here. I have not had good luck with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes, I'll tell you that much. These are newer. I'll take a look. This is called a Ghast from Minecraft. Probably around 15. I'll get it for like $1. Over here is another one. It's called Golem. Probably around 20. You could tell they're Minecraft because of these little dashes, which are designed to represent pixelation, and they just made it into plush form like this. So they're good shape too, no rips, tears, anything like that. So put both of them right there. Little tip here, there's not much stuff over here. Not much stuff over here. This is all kind of newer toys and stuff. But go around the corner sometimes and you never know what you might find that could help you with your business. Don't always think of things to flip. Think of things that you might need to use for shipping. So look at this big roll right here. This is great for if you need some brown wrapping. So it's pretty big too. So if I get this for like $1 or $2, that's awesome. So definitely gonna pick this up. And before you leave, it's good to do a final check through right here. This one just laying here. You could tell from these little dashes I was talking about before that this is a Minecraft item. This is called a creeper. So I wouldn't pick it up if it was just this, but to toss it in with the other stuff, this will just sweeten the pot. It doesn't weigh anything of significance, so you could just combine it with these and helps make the sale. But one of the things that I want to show you, if you ever see this, pick it up for sure. Jerry Garcia ties. Very popular. They're awesome. Love the colors on them. Sell very well as also. So let's pick them up. Okay, so we're done. We got this one, the Ghast, G-H-A-S-T. We got this one here, the Golem, technically the Iron Golem. And we got the Creeper, as I showed you, the 2 Jerry Garcia ties, and this big giant roll of paper that I could use to pack things up and ship. Everything here, $5. And now let's move on to the next place. Okay, so we are at a fall community garage sale. I was here earlier this year. This is one of the areas where I wound up finding a comic book collection just by asking. So who knows what we'll find today, but we're gonna go out, walk around, and see if we get anything good. This is what I'm talking about in terms of stuff to look for. This has Mrs. Primetime's name written all over it. These shutters, she could redo these and definitely make some money off of these for sure. She does a really good job with shutters, so you'll see these come back to life for sure. Gonna pick them up and just put them in the car. All right, already filling up a little bit. All right, we're gonna head out of this community garage sale. There's really not much left. This is all the stuff that didn't sell the first time around. So, you know, the best thing that I found here were those free shutters, and that's it. So we're gonna head out to some other sales and hopefully have some better luck there. Big shout out to Melanie, one of my subscribers, formerly of Princess Path here in Central New York. Thanks for buying one of those posters from me recently and the comic book. Really appreciate it and wanted to give you a big shout out and your own special thumbs up. My goodness, look at all of these wood rubber stamps. There is a ton of them here. There's definitely hundreds of them, and $1 each. I wonder if this could be a bulk buy because these do sell well in lots. I just got to figure out how to make it work. So I was not able to make a deal there. I walked up to her, asked her if she was willing to make a bulk purchase, and she said to me, "Are you a reseller on eBay?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "I am too." And I thought to myself, oh no, Because usually in these situations, when you're dealing with other resellers who are currently active on eBay, it's very hard to make a deal, especially if you're trying to buy what they specialize in. And she told me that she has 20 more of those totes filled that she has listed on eBay. So all those are her lower end ones. She has the higher end ones like Stampin' Up! And PSX. Those are the ones that she's selling. So, you know, that tells you right there when someone tells you that this is kind of like their leftovers. And when I look through some of them, you know, most of them are used, some of them are faded. So I'm definitely not going to pay up for it, especially, and this is an important point, especially if it is something that I don't have any expertise in and I have not sold before. I know they do sell well. So I've always told you, you need to know enough to look. But then if you're going to make a bulk purchase, you really have to be conservative if it's your first time around, unless you specialize in the area or have specialized knowledge. And I don't, not in this area. So I wasn't going to pay more than about 10 cents per wood stamp. Now I estimated that there were about 500 of them there based on counting out 100. There could have been more, there could have been a little less. She told me to make her an offer. I offered her 50 bucks, which would be about 10 cents per stamp. Again, got to be conservative. It's the same thing I tell people who contact me and ask me about buying comic collections. It's your first time around, start relatively small, buy smaller collections, don't put forth a lot of money. Like worst case scenario, if I put out 50 bucks there, if she said yes and something went wrong, worst case I'm out 50 bucks. I'm not going to be out hundreds and hundreds of dollars based on making an impulsive buy just because I think it's good. So I had no problem whatsoever walking away from that, but I think it's a good teaching moment for you when you go out there, and especially if you're new and you see something and it looks great, looks like there's a lot of it, don't overpay if it's your first time around. Be conservative until you've got that knowledge built up. And here we go again. There's some more. I'm not going to be getting these.
To sell. So she's not going to sell her stuff for say $25 when someone else is selling it for $2 or $3 or $5.
Right.
So
Thank you.
Try that site and see.
Wow, I'm definitely gonna use that.
I mean, I've been doing this for a while.
It's a matter of the, you know, this was a
I
nice
love
one.
the stamps, love it all, but then what do I do about scrapbooking you now? Because I never did that, so.
Okay, so what is the chance that that's going to happen? That the next sale is going to be someone else who specializes in wood and rubber stamps? I don't know if this lady sells on eBay, but she was talking about going to all these craft shows and having vendors, and she has distributors, and she knows all the websites to go to and type in this code and that code. And it's like, okay, this lady really knows her stuff about these stamps. And the stamps that she had out for sale, they really weren't worth the price that she had on them for the sets. Like one of the Stampin' Up sets was Mini Mate. She had 28 of them for 10 bucks. I mean, you couldn't even really get that much out of it on eBay. And so even putting a lot together, there really weren't that many of them that it would have been worth it for me. So I didn't even attempt to do anything like that in terms of an offer. But then I went and I looked at that last part. I wanted to show it to you because you could easily overlook that and think that they're DVDs, and they're not DVDs. They look just like it, but they're stamped sets, and they're made by Stampin' Up. Now, if you're going to purchase those, you want to get them for about $1 or less in bulk, because you could sell them for about $3.50 a piece, $3.30 a piece in bulk. So, for example, if you had about 54 of them, you could get about $180 out of them. So you got to get it for the right price. She had 10 bucks a piece on it, and even at 10 bucks a piece, if she cut it in half for me at 5 bucks a piece, it's still too much. So there was monetary value there, but it has to be with the right person. It can't be with someone who's trying to sell them at a garage sale for a high price to other people who also specialize in the hobby. It's not going to work for reselling, so it's got to be the right situation. Now, I do want to take a moment to thank Mary McQuain for giving me the $10 super chat this week, because she was trying to fund my Wendy's dash, but instead of that, I also love KFC, as many of you know. I hit up the Chicken Littles when I'm on the road. This is the Nashville Hot. Really good. I got 2 of them plus a drink, so $6.23. And thank you, Mary McQuain. It is finger licking good. Oh, and look at this to the right. This is great. We have got all sorts of wood items all outside. There's a garbage dump there. I have a good feeling about this. Then there's the sale straight ahead. There's another sale over to the left. I have a feeling there's some treasures hiding there waiting to get picked out. Let's go find some. There is a lot of stuff here for sure. Looking forward to checking this out. So this one's interesting. This is vintage Superman. If you look at the back, you're gonna see that it's from 1978, if I get the light on there right. And you'll see a tag that I've talked about before, which is Knickerbocker, which is a clue that it's vintage in 1970s. Problem is, it's not worth much, especially in this condition. Maybe you're lucky you get like 20 bucks or so out of it, and he wants 12. So I'm gonna pass on this one. But this is pretty interesting. These are these trade cards, and they have the name of the tailor on the front, and then on the back, it talks about what they do. And you can see here it's from Rome, New York, which is upstate New York. And there's a bunch of them here. I'm kind of curious how much he would want for these. They're pretty neat. So you're not gonna find these every day. So I'm gonna ask him about it. Wants 50 bucks, and there's no way I could do that. There's not enough solid comps on that for 50. What's your price on the books?
What books?
This
Because
the
the
Betty,
1960s Betty Crocker is
yeah,
one
this
thing.
one, this one here.
I don't know, I'll take $4 for it.
Okay. Right here, this GE toaster. This is vintage 1970s. There's not even a UPC code on it. It's not technically new in box, but to find this with the original box, that's very difficult. People will pay up for this, and he just wants $4 for it. So I'm definitely gonna pick this up. And this one here, gonna get as well. It's definitely an interesting book. Probably could get 20, 25 out of it. And this one here, I'm also gonna pick up for the $4 because this one I could get 30, 35 bucks out of. Notre Dame car mats always sell well. These are vintage ones. So just gotta pick these up and clean them up. Should be able to do well on these. Maybe like 30 bucks or so on them. Okay, so I wound up getting the Notre Dame floor mats, the Officers' Wives cookbook, the vintage Betty Crocker's picture cookbook, revised and enlarged. I'm most excited actually about this one right here, this toaster I was telling you about. And then also at the end, threw in 25 wrestling DVDs, which I'm gonna add to another big lot of wrestling DVDs that I have. So I got everything together for a total of $35. This alone should sell for around 35, so the rest of it should be the profit. Very excited again about this one the most. All right, so I decided to call it a day in terms of the treasure hunt at this point because I wanted to get back here and spend some time with my son. Family time is important over the weekends, and so always like to try to make sure, try to balance everything out as much as possible. But now that I am here, I want to show you progress on Mrs. Primetime's furniture pieces that she restores and resells. If you want to see what it looked like yesterday, go back to the prior video, but here's the update with the second coat. I'm going to turn the camera around. So you can see here, this is the update to the main piece. It's no longer gray and streaky. It looks nice and solid right here. There's about 2 to 3 coats of paint on here now. There's some areas that have 2 that are bleeding through a little bit. And so, you know, like you can see here, she will, right there on the bottom, she'll touch that up tomorrow and get a 3rd coat over any areas where there's some bleed through. These are looking good right here. She was able to do one side of them. So we've got 2 coats, and this side over here, like this is what it looked like beforehand with all the streaks. So making good progress. Then she's got to wax them and assemble them and put the hardware on them. These are the shutters that I brought back. This one here is broke, but she thinks she could fix that. These other ones, you don't even really have to repaint them. People will buy them a little bit distressed like this to give things a vintage look, especially for crafts. Sometimes people will just buy a single panel, 2 panels. So don't think you have to buy the whole set. She estimates based on her experience, because she does a lot with shutters, that this is probably something she could get 25 to 30 bucks out of. Now, it's not a fortune, but it adds up. That's just sitting there for free. Grab it, dust it off, clean the grass off and stuff, maybe do a little fix here and there, and $25, $30. That's, you know, 25, 30 bucks we didn't have before that. It is the beginning of the fall, and I want to make sure I clean this now. If I let it sit around, it's going to sit through the winter, and I don't want that. I want to get these listed soon, so we need to clean them. That means we got to spray them. All right, well, just gonna bake these babies in the sun for a little bit and they will be good as new. Remember, part of doing this job is you've got to look past the dirt, look past the dust, look past the grime, and realize how you could fix it up prime time. I couldn't really talk about this in the closet before, but the Jerry Garcia ties, you should be able to sell 2 of them easily for around $15 to $17 pre-owned. So, you know, it's no brainer to pick these up when you see them. So just to show you why I pick things like this up at estate sales, this brown paper wrapping, this is what I would use sometimes to wrap some boxes, just depending on the situation. This right here is what I normally get at the dollar store. So this is how much you would get for $1. And then just look at the comparison. I mean, this is part of a $5 purchase with 2 Jerry Garcia ties and 3 Minecraft plushes. So you just can't beat when you get stuff like this. It's almost free. Look at this. It's just after 10 minutes, they're already drying up and they are looking really nice. All right, so I'm in this shed, and one of the things I wanted to show you was why I picked up those wrestling DVDs. They are good if you could get them in bunches. You want to pay $1 or less for them. This is the stack that I got here. Now, I said there were 25. There's really 24. One of them was a non-wrestling DVD. So here you can see the stack. But behind me, and I never showed this in a YouTube video before, but there's all of these wrestling DVDs as well that I picked up for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. So now I've combined them all together, and there's not too many duplicates, if any. I didn't see any immediately. There might be a few, but a lot of these are different from the ones I got here. So these will sell together for hundreds of dollars. So I'm gonna probably put this up somewhere here in fourth quarter so someone will pay up for it for a Christmas present. But that's why I picked these up, because I knew I could combine it together for one massive, massive lot that the more I could add to, the more people will pay up for it for the holidays. Okay, so we are going to wrap up with this item here, because this is the item I am definitely the most excited about. You just don't see something like this too often. A vintage 1970s GE toaster in the box. Now, it's not new in box, like I said. As you can see, the flaps have been opened, but I don't think this thing's ever been used before. I just took it out. I'm going to show it to you, and there's some really cool things that I found. I didn't even take it outside of the box and test it when I was there. I know I tell you to do that in most instances, but the reason I didn't do it in this instance is because even if it doesn't work, for $4, this is so worth it. Someone's still going to pay up for something like this just to even have it for display or to repair. As you can see, the original paperwork comes with it. That includes the instructions manual, the certificate to register it for ownership, and it also has the places where you could go and get repairs. The styrofoam inserts are all there. So this thing is complete. It's the color that it's supposed to be. You could see there, it's almond, and it is supposed to be almond right there. The key question really is if it works, because even though it will sell if it didn't work, if it does work, that's just gonna be golden. And so what should happen is that if we press that lever down, once it's plugged in, we should see it glow inside. So I already have it plugged in right here. Let's see what happens when I push this thing down. I hear a noise, which is good, and there we go. It is glowing and it smells hot. You could smell the heat coming off of that thing, and you could feel it. That is really awesome. I'm gonna take a nice picture of that for the advertisement when I list it, for my listing. That's really good. I'm really excited about this. We'll just have to see what happens and keep an eye on it. I will give you an update on this down the road. Well, I guess one more thing. This is a hand-me-down item here. We don't need it. It's just been taking up a lot of space and it's time to go. We put it on Facebook Marketplace, 40 bucks. So guys coming in 10 minutes to pick it up. So if you have big bulky items sitting around that you don't need that are taking up tons of space, put it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm telling you, it goes pretty fast. Before I sign off, I did want to address one question that came in the comment section from Treasure Hunt. Nice name, by the way. I was joking with you about that, but some of you may have had this question as well based on something I showed yesterday, which is this display case. I showed you that I like to use these to put figures on, figurines, salt and pepper shakers, that sort of thing. It gives it a nice raised, elevated perspective for the photos. I wound up getting this at a collectible store. They didn't need it anymore, but you could get it at a department store. They have things like this, or just any other store that you walk into, either in the mall or wherever you are in retail. If you see they have things like this, just ask them if they have some that they're discarding, or even get your name on a list, talk to a manager, say, hey, have you ever tossed those things out? If you're not using them anymore, let me know. So there's all sorts of things that you could find like this. You may also want to check behind retail stores where they're discarding things, throwing things out. You may find some things there like this as well that you can use. I didn't pay anything for this. It's free and it's great. I love using it for my business. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed all the tips, some of the sales and some of the finds. Real excited about that toaster and hope to get that listed tonight. So if you saw anything in this video or prior videos that you enjoyed and you're interested in picking up, let me know. If I didn't sell it already, I will make it a priority to list for you. Many of you have reached out to me for items like that, and I'm glad to do that, happy to do that for you. So my eBay store is also linked on the main page, and it's also linked down below in the description section, as well as links to the Facebook group. We're almost at 12,000 members there, so come on by there, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. Also on Instagram, that's @prime_time_treasure. I will see you all at the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.